Hello, Connor here for day 92 of meditation. And yeah, today we got some decorations. Got a little Pikachu, Mr. Goomba. We even got a little plant here as well. So it would spice up the scenery a little bit. Maybe get something on that wall one day, who knows. But today we stemmed into a bit of awareness. Awareness being one, present awareness. Being present in the environment, just being the awareness which sees, and two, the same form of awareness, but I guess the awareness behind your thoughts and the awareness which overlooks your thoughts. The reason awareness holds so much importance, and it's explained in, I guess, like all sorts of philosophies, Buddhist, Stoic, just anything, even Western philosophies, psychology, CBT, they all have this emphasis on awareness and being aware in your environment, which means seeing it, and also being aware of the thoughts which are flowing before you. Reading the CBT book today, it states that we need to be the first step to overcoming negative thoughts or critical thinking or anything which isn't providing benefit to our life, any internal dialogue which isn't providing benefit, is to first become. Holy! Look at this thing. Hold up. Oh, fuck. See that big bug? It's a massive bug. It's a little distracting. This is a big bug. Let me show you as well. Anyway, big bugs. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't, but that's a huge bug. Anyway, be aware of the bug. See it in the present moment. We don't even have a name for that thing, and you're not meant to have a name for it. They say the best way to see things is as if you're seeing it for the first time. That's awareness. See it for the first time, experience things for the first time, so that you can take your own depiction of it, or take a non-preconceived idea of it away. Instead, you can create your own meaning and own idea from it. But yeah, awareness and awareness behind thought. Essentially, we need to be able to. A lot of our thought processes for a lot of people are very unconscious. Unconscious in the sense that we can have this internal dialogue, consistent basis, and we just constantly fall into it. And we can feel horrible because of some thoughts, but for some reason we just keep delving further into them. And sometimes we know that and we just do it anyway. And it's very unconscious and it's very uncontrolled. It's not taking responsibility for your mind, for your thoughts, and for your feelings. It's just delving into whatever seems easiest, whatever you feel like falling into. Not feel like, whatever your mind tells you to fall into. You're just a passive bearer to what's going on instead of taking some responsibility. Eckhart Tolle describes it as the pain body. So we have a pain body, and the pain body is fed by ego. So ego's, the more pain we feel, the more we blame others and blame outside circumstances and claim that we're the victim and everything's wrong and stuff's just not working out. It feeds this pain body, which is a representation, this pain body represents, or says it's representing the self through a different form of ego, and we cling to that self-identity, so we cling to that pain. That's one form of why we negatively think. There's also the loop of hell, which is essentially the cortisol release, which we get from indulging in negative thought. We've got cortisol, which releases in the mind, which can have an addictive nature to it as well. Therefore, we amplify the negative thoughts we are having to continue to excrete this cortisol that's being released. So we have a negative thought, cortisol release, and then we're like, okay, amplify thought, more cortisol, amplify thought, and it's a downward cycle. And yeah, not healthy. Not healthy. We say not healthy because we don't want to give people the wrong idea. When there's good thoughts and bad thoughts, it's not like it's okay for people to have bad thoughts. You just need to be aware of when they're happening. If they're happening unconsciously, that's okay. It's not it's okay for a period, but when you learn to become aware of them, when you learn to see them, you have to know that there's bad thought. There is literally patterns of thought which you can indulge in, which can completely obliterate your life. And to not take note of this fact is to you're just gonna fall into the unconscious patterns of self-criticism and, patterns which are gonna put you in a rut, put you in a bad place, put you into depression, put you into anxiety, put you into all sorts of stuff, unless you learn to actually see them, acknowledge them for what they are, and work through them. If you don't aim to work through them, then they're going to be with you forever. And it's explained wrong thought for a reason. Explained wrong thought because it's not providing any wellness to your life. And it is your responsibility to come out of that. It's not your mind doing it to you. It's you not taking responsibility for your mind. I know it can seem kind of like harsh in that depiction of things, but it's more just trying to be honest that, like, if you want change, you have to take that responsibility on your shoulders. You've got to stop blaming other things and blaming everything else. You have to take that responsibility on yourself and work through it. Obviously there's stuff that happens, it's crazy stuff, but we're referring to the present moment. Right now is when you got to make that change and work to alter your thoughts and readjust what isn't working in your life. And responsibility comes in the form of being the awareness which notices those thoughts and works to diminish the negative to a more realistic, stable approach, or just be aware of what your thoughts are actually doing to you. Be aware of the negative thoughts when they pop up. Don't just be like, oh, I'm worthless, and then keep delving into it. If your mind says, oh, I'm worthless, just sit with it and be like, okay. You don't have to fall into it. You just gotta see it. That's awareness. Being aware of what your mind just said. Is it true? No. You just said it. Just out of the blue. So you gotta be aware, you gotta see it, and then just seeing it alone is already gonna give you this kind of spaciousness around behind the thought. It's gonna allow you to put it in front of you instead of having it as a part of you. And then when it's in front of you, that's when you can work to take an alternative outlook on that thought, or take an alternative outlook on the realistic nature of the thought that was just produced, and maybe an alternative thought that may be, better incorporated into your mind. CBT stated this in the form of catastrophic thinking and problematic predictions. And it's the thought that people's patterns of thoughts, they can predict a negative outcome in an event which hasn't happened, and they can catastrophize the outcome, the negative consequences of that event. And just these thoughts alone can cause us going into those events with a lot more of an amplified state, a lot more anxiety within, and just thoughts running like no tomorrow. So if we can become this awareness which actually can notice when you have those thoughts and actually just break it down a little bit, sit with it, see it, and question yourself on the believability of those thoughts to actually be true, and then question yourself on the probability that the consequences will be as bad as you depict them to be. This is just in regards to catastrophic thinking and problematic thinking. Awareness is used everywhere for all types of thinking. We know there's right and wrong thought, which is explained by the Buddha's Noble Truths. So yeah, you've got to be that awareness to actually determine for yourself what's right thought and what's wrong thought, given what gives you fulfillment, what gives you peace of mind and happiness, allows you to pursue with fulfillment, or what just drags you deeper and deeper and deeper into a hole, and over years and years and years of falling into these habitual thoughts which drag you down, naturally you're going to drag yourself down. It's kind of common sense, but it doesn't mean we can't turn it around. So yes, become this awareness, see the thoughts, see what you're doing to yourself, see the benefits or the consequences that come from those thoughts, and redirect or actually investigate those thoughts a little bit further to understand the realistic nature of them. In regards to that catastrophic thinking and predictions, there's a so what method. Just say you predict a problem, and say that problem does actually come true, then you just question, okay, so what? So this is so what? You just keep questioning. That was the CBT form, just so what? You mess up a talk in a speech in front of a class or something, so what? What's the big deal? There's a lot worse things that can happen in your life than to mess up a speech. There's a lot more that can go wrong than stuffing up in a football game, and a lot of these things we can really amplify and catastrophize just because of our state of mind. Belittling yourself and self-criticizing and all of that, unless you are aware of doing it, then change probably won't happen, and you're more likely to just cause more of a rut in your everyday life and in your mental patterns of thought. These negative depictions of self and negative depictions of the world, and there is wrong thought, and wrong thought is wrong because it is going to cause your own downfall, and it's not anyone else's responsibility to stop your downfall from happening. It's yours, and if you can do that in thought, which you can do that in thought, then you should pursue that. And it all starts with awareness, actually seeing your thoughts, being that awareness which sees them, is aware of them, and takes a more realistic approach and actually formulates them to be more realistic, with a bit of gratitude. Yeah, just stop destroying yourself so much. That's essentially the message of the day. Thoughts are powerful. Anyway, we'll leave it there, and we'll see you for day 93 tomorrow. See ya.